This is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. Jerry, how you doing this week?
Wonderful, guys. Wonderful, considering all the stuff that's going on outside. Right. But I'm following the rules and maintaining, so doing wonderful.
All right, Jim, how about
Thank you?
Doing good. Actually got out on the bike this weekend and put in a few miles. So
Good for you.
That was nice.
Was there a lot of people out there?
Nope.
That's even nicer.
A lot of people out.
Yeah,
it's just like
driving. You'll see some people out running. A few cyclists, and every time you see somebody, they make a big point of waving, like, "Hey,
don't breathe on me."
Right, don't breathe on me. Yeah, I went flying solo, but
very nice. Well, we walk around the neighborhood, when the weather's permitting. Get out. There's some people walking their dogs and stuff like that. For the most part,
I see that.
Everybody's staying at home doing their thing and biding their time to get back out there.
Well, like Jaime says, when I out and about, you see people walking their dogs, jogging. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Outside, I think, is the answer.
Yep. Hey guys, how cool was last week's episode?
Hoo-wee. The bass player from the Muffs talking to us on our podcast? Are you kidding?
Fantastic. It was, well, as Jerry pointed out, I'm a total fanboy. So
right.
I was over the moon, right?
It was a lot of fun.
Man.
And some people commented back to us and let us know, hey, dumb shits, you didn't talk about Love Gun. You didn't talk about Destroyer.
Right.
Phantom of the Park. You didn't talk about all this stuff. And when you
It was stream of consciousness, man. It just kind of went.
Well, there's a method to the madness.
Yeah, what caught me up is that's the bass player for the Muffs.
Well, the way I see it, I think we've got a couple more shows out of them because we want to do a part 2 on Kiss and finish that up. But we also want to have an episode with him just about the career of the Muffs. And he's got a lot of great stories to tell, of course.
I bet.
And of course, he's promising us our David Lee Roth fix. So
that's right.
Really looking forward to that.
The lawsuit thingy.
And before we move forward, Jim, you want to talk about next week? We got another special guest coming on.
Yeah, next week we have Melanie Vayman coming on. So we're excited about that, obviously. Pandora's, Early Muffs, the Coolies, a ton of other projects.
I really want to talk about how crazy it is that the Pandoras were such a local band compared to where we grew up at. They started basically going back and forth between Chino and San Dimas to rehearse.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And from there moved into the Hollywood scene, I guess. But we're going to have Melanie tell us all about that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How lucky are we, guys? How lucky are we?
Well, this week's episode, guys, is it's a look back to the year we graduated high school. We're going to get into a little bit later, 1981, and you guys both have picked one album that you want me to play a little bit of music from, and then we're going to each pick 5 albums that kind of stand out from that year. And that's, again, the year we graduated high school, 1981. Sounds like an awful long time ago.
It was.
Well, let's not push that. But you know what? What a great year for music it was.
Oh, guys. Were we spoiled?
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
But this week, for right now, we're going to jump right into our music, our new bands, our unsigned bands. And let's jump right into that. And, Jerry, why don't you go ahead?
Thank you, Frank. The new band I got is, it's a solo guy. It's Automatic Shoes. He's prolific. His name is Matthew Joseph Hughes. So Matt Hughes from the Atari Ferrari band. He branched out and does some solo stuff, and there's a lot of it, folks. So just go to atomicshoes.com or atariferrari.com, and you'll find this Matthew Joseph Hughes. It's great stuff. It's very different. It's kind of off the charts a little for me, but I love it. And again, it's all stuff done by him. It's Automatic Shoes. The album is No More Heroes. It just came out a couple of weeks ago. He's got a lot of stuff, folks. So just go to automaticshoes.com, Facebook, Instagram, especially Bandcamp. I believe this No More Heroes record is free, but he, appreciate the donation. And the thing he wrote, which I love, he says, I recorded this album while in my quarantine at home. I've been feeling down about my songwriting and mixing abilities, which is BS. This guy's a peach. But I realized I just needed to do the best I can and send some good vibes out to the world. I hope something on here can connect or bring a smile. There are 3 bonus tracks if you download, including a funky track from the late, great Bill Withers, who just passed, I think, last week, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and his first Lana Del Rey voice on record, he sings very high. This guy reminds me of like a Nick Gilder, just voice-wise. But he's great. He's great. I don't have any income during this lockdown, so all donations are appreciated. Sincerely, Matthew. Dated April 1st, 2020. So people, that's 19 days ago. The song Frank's going to play is Dog on the Run. And Matthew's from Spokane, Washington. And again, Automatic Shoes from Matthew Joseph Hughes. Also in the band Atari Ferrari. And thank you. Yeah. Dog on the Run, Frank.
All right, here we go.
Well, it's been so long since you went away. You wanted one last song. Was a shade of gray, and I've been living my life out on my own like a dog on the run, dog on the run. Yeah, it's been so long since I learned that day. You never really know until you fade away. And you know it happens faster than you ever dreamed. And you know if you went back then you just couldn't be, wouldn't be. Dog on the run, dog on the run, dog on the run. It's been so long since you went away. You wanted one last song with just a touch of gray. And you know it happens faster than you ever dreamed. Yeah, you know if you went back then you just couldn't be, wouldn't be. Just a dog on the run, just a dog on the run, dog on the run, dog on the run.
All right, that's Automatic Shoes with Dog on the Run.
Matthew Joseph Hughes out of Spokane, Washington, also a member of the band Atari Ferrari.
All right.
Great stuff. What a voice. What a voice.
Good deal. Check them out. I saw quite a bit of music on Bandcamp. So
yeah, Bandcamp, YouTube is loaded, Facebook. He's on everything, folks. Automatic Shoes.
all right.
Yep. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So Jim, what did you think about Automatic Shoes?
Jerry totally set this up perfect when he said Nick Gilder. When that voice came in, I was like, oh my gosh, he was not kidding. I'm thinking this guy needs to do a cover of Roxy Roller.
Yeah. That would be good. Be fitting.
Very interesting sounding song.
Yes.
Not typical. I liked it. I'll go back and listen to some other stuff and see what else he's got out there.
I really enjoyed it. Like I said, there's a bunch of covers on there that are really well done.
He does a great one of Imagine.
Yeah.
By John Lennon, of course, folks out in Conspiracy Land. Does a great for YouTube, etc. But yeah.
All right, what I've got this week out of New Orleans, Louisiana, is a band called Stepping Sideways. And
well, I've done that before.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher their names and give you the band members' names, and then read a little bit at the stuff that I got off the internet from these guys.
Where are they from?
Out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh.
Okay. On vocals, we have Kader Almarimi. Guitars, Joey Vadasca. Also guitars, Tosh Talazak. Bass is Matt Eichner. And drums is PJ Huseman. And guys, I promise I'm probably going to have you on the show so that you can set me straight on these names. They offered to come on and do any kind of promo.
Oh, nice.
So maybe we can get them to get their names properly pronounced. I hate it when I do that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can save that intro you just did.
Yeah.
And when they're on, just play it and have them say how it really goes. But to me, you weren't far off. Sorry to interrupt.
Two of the members of the band are film industry professionals, and these guys make videos. They do all their own production. It's called Dream Seekers Productions.
Love that.
Every song is a like a short story, a movie. You know, they say even though some of the lyrical content is somewhat personal, it's still sci-fi fantasy type music. They are a conceptual progressive hard rock band. Their story is presented through massive atmospheric sound and epic storytelling in the form of graphic and full-length novels that tell a cosmic tale of the multi-dimensional being called the Traveler. Wow. And you want to check them out on steppingsidewaysband.com. They're on Facebook at Stepping Sideways, Instagram, Stepping Sideways, and on Twitter, Stepping Sideways. You want to check them out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song for you called Path of the Hero off the album The Harbinger. Check it out. right, that's Stepping Sideways with Path
Yeehaw there.
of the Hero. Well, tell me what you really feel, Jerry.
That's vicious. I love it. That's chock full of energy, double bass, cranking through, little guitars. I love it when just a lead comes in for like 2 seconds and throws a riff and then backs out. I love that stuff. That's great, Frank. Good job.
I really like the production of that. These
man,
guys are top notch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No slouches there.
What'd you think, Jim?
I agree. Love the production. The sound is good. Love the vocals.
All right.
I think when you think of this style of music, I mean, this ticks all the boxes, right?
Right.
It's got the
Pretty much.
great guitar tone. It's all the little squeals that you hear thrown in there. I love that. It's got that vicious double bass, as Jerry said.
Good deal.
So good representation of the genre.
I think so. All right. Well, that's The Harbinger with Path of the Hero, or Stepping Sideways. The album is The Harbinger. Okay. Well, moving forward, Jim, what band do you have to present to us this week?
I am really excited about this band for a couple of reasons. One, I found their single on Bandcamp, and I love the sound of this. It's right up my alley. Mod band. Mod freak beat.
So the song's not longer than 3 minutes?
No. That's not the real reason I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I'm sorry.
because they actually sent me a bio.
Hey, now.
Ooh,
and I'm so excited that they sent me a bio. I'm going to read it word for word.
Do it.
Because you guys know I never get bios from bands. So we have Mole on vocals and bass guitar. Alessandro Cozzi Lepri. My Italian sucks. Mm-hmm. You can tell me, Frank.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
No, don't ask. Frank can do Italian, but don't ask him to say band name members. Yeah.
And Lois Tozer on drums. They originally formed at the end of '96. They were initially influenced by the moody minor key mid-'60s U.S. garage bands common to the New England area. Released an LP and a couple of singles. Then they kind of switched gears, changed styles towards the more aggressive sounds coming out of the UK and Europe in that same period, transitional style to which came to be known as freak beat. Here the band formed their true calling and delivered their highest profile LP, Our New Day, for Vox Records. Right. Label I love, as a matter of fact. And Bomp, I like them both.
Right.
Numerous tours through the UK and Europe were undertaken. They found time to come over to the US and Canada on a number of occasions. Follow-up LP, Yellow Glass Perspections. Saw the band incorporating more psychedelic elements to their sound, but still very much rooted in the aggressive mod rock that had become their trademark. Then comes around 2005, they part company, just due to the life in general getting in the way, right? But now they're back, strong as ever, little, as they say, a little wider around the waist, a little grayer around the gills.
Sounds like us.
But ready to rock. And so they've got a new single out. This came out in August of 2019. And they've also got an LP out, which is actually a re-release. But they re-recorded one of their earlier singles, put it on there. Now it's out on vinyl.
Nice.
This 7-inch. This is also the single is also available on a 7-inch.
All right.
So, I opted to download just because the shipping cost from the UK is just a little
twice
tough.
as much as the record.
Yeah. Well.
Talk about adding pounds, baby.
Yeah, adding pounds. So it was I think it was like 16 pounds for the record, and then it's like another 14 pounds for the shipping.
I was gonna say when the shipping costs more than the LP, it's
pretty close. But but if you're in the UK and you're listening, by all means go out and buy it because these guys amazing sound. So this is called "I Need You." It came out in August 2019. And so let's give it a spin, as they say.
All right.
But if you ever tell me goodbye, I'll be down and you'll leave me cry. I need you. I'm more than anybody else has needed anyone before. I need you. There's no one else to stand in your place. I need you. You know, real girl, only you can keep a smile on my face. But if you ever tell me goodbye, I'll break down and you'll leave me crying. I need you. I'm more than anybody else has needed anyone before. There's no one else to stand in your place. I need you, you know it'll go. Only you can keep a smile on my face. But if you ever tell me goodbye, I'll bring down and you'll leave me cry. I need you. I'm more than anybody else has needed anyone before. I'm more than anybody else has needed anyone before. I need you. I need you. I need you.
Oh, my.
Woo!
While that was playing,
Wow.
Ray Davies called. He wants his mojo back.
Right?
Yes.
Dave and Ray Davies called.
Yes. Very good. That
That's awesome.
definitely.
I wanted to ask you, Frank, about the production on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
does it
dirty and I love it.
does that
Even
sound
though-
about as authentic as it gets?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it pulls you right
what a
into the
treat.
60s there. And it's just, the proper amount of fuzz.
oh.
It was
Right,
great.
but it doesn't sound lo-fi. you
No,
know what
not
I mean?
at all.
It's-
No. That was
Wow. Yeah, that was great.
great.
That
Love
was
the solo break, the whole
you
bit.
can't
Oh yeah,
You-
the
you
backing
can't-
vocals. Oh,
you can't see it because we show the cover of the record,
Right.
but Jerry was literally dancing
Yeah, I might
in
have
his
to
seat. Up.
put a bit of that in there.
that was
Yeah.
awesome.
That rocks, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Good
man,
stuff.
You're not even joking, Jaime. That was good stuff.
I am not joking.
And
Serious
I don't-
as a heart attack.
Oh,
So,
I don't want to
wow.
alarm anybody, but today I was looking at Bandcamp, and there's only 145 left. If you want the single, there's only one left. So,
understandable though, right?
Oh.
yeah.
Well, yeah. After that,
So, anyways, wow, yeah. The
Yes, I mean,
Embrooks.
so they've been on Vox, they've been on Sympathy, and
Man, that's good.
couple other great labels.
Good deal.
Dionysus, you know,
Mhm.
if you're a fan of this, you know those labels, right?
Right.
So,
oh, wow, Jaime.
Very nice. Definitely check them out. Good stuff. All right, well, guys, moving forward, we're zipping this show along here tonight because we have 1981, the year of we graduated high school.
year we graduated high school.
And like I said, there was so much good music that year that came out on.
Guys, we are so spoiled.
Yeah. When I looked at the computer today, I got to Wikipedia and I put in, albums that came out in 1981, and the page came up.
I
And
did the
thought,
same thing, Frank.
well, that's a pretty
God.
good list.
My
But then I
God.
realized, that's only page one.
That's
And
only
I went
page one.
down, and it
I
kept
just did top
scrolling.
100.
Oh, so many, and not just rock music, just every genre you can think of.
Soft Cell, freaking Rick James.
Oh yeah.
I think first Depeche Mode album,
I think
81,
so, yeah.
right? I think. Gosh,
so many. I saw, the Go-Go's. We got just unbelievable.
Ghost in the Machine, The Police, Dare, The Human League.
Well,
Black
initially
Flag
we
with
decided
Damaged.
we would
Corner 4.
we would pick 10 albums, and then I said, let's knock it down to 5. And then in that 5 albums, Jerry, of course, pick your number one that we have the music for. But give me 5 albums that stand out to you during that time, and it's okay if we overlap.
Okay, now this is specifically for Jeffrey Brandeman of the Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme podcast. Comes out in July of 81. Journey's Escape.
All right.
And I've told Frank and Jaime before, folks out in Conspiracy Land, Journey did this, and I got into them, and Any Way You Want It. That's on, freaking Rodney Dangerfield's golf club set. And it's just I followed him. And then the keyboard player / singer, he's had a couple. Greg Raleigh leaves the band, and I'm like, it's like AC/DC, and it's like Van Halen. Well, there goes one of the forming members. They're done. And then they come out in July of 81 with Escape, and every single song, folks out in Conspiracy Land, has been on the radio, and probably still is at some time. So that's, of course, Journey Escape is number 1. Mm-hmm. I don't have them specifically in order, but like right off the bat, I see Devo, New Traditionalists. I love that. I wore that cassette out. I remember that specifically. And what's funny, guys, is some of my classic picks over our couple of years of doing podcasts are on here. Rush, Moving Pictures, Foreigner 4.
Right.
Face Dances, The Who, Rod Stewart, Tonight I'm Yours, Pat Benatar, Precious Time. I know you said 5, Frank, but I did do this, Frank.
When do you listen? Yeah.
I exactly. Not since 81, that's for sure. But I do have Black Sabbath, Mob Rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you and I go on about Ozzy and the Black Sabbath, that's a damn good album.
Yep.
I got Jefferson Starship, Modern Times, which I wore out. April Wine, Nature of the Beast. Sorry, I know Frank, you said 5.
It's all right.
But I think the point is in Conspiracy Land, folks, is that so many great albums came out in our senior year. This is tip of the iceberg. I can't wait to see what you guys have.
All right.
But yeah, for me, the number 1 is Journey Escape, July 1981.
All right. Well, let's listen to a tidbit of a couple of these songs, just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Again, we don't own the rights to this music. We're not trying to rip the band off. We're just playing it.
Oh, they're
so we
going
can talk
through enough
about
legal stuff right now.
Yeah. Don't need any other issues.
Yeah. No, thank you, lawyer.
All right. Check this out. All right. Now, I'm not a huge Journey fan, but they're definitely firing all cylinders. At that particular time.
Oh, every song on that album was on the radio, guys, that summer. Every single song at some point or another was on the radio.
Well, that's Journey with Escape. That's,
oh, what memories.
Steve Perry was in rare form, that's for sure.
Well, like I said,
it was Neil Sean.
The thing is, Greg Raleigh leaves, keyboard contributing member, contributing writer, contributing vocals, lead vocals on some songs, and he leaves. And I'm like, there they go. They just absolutely just crushed it, and somebody's going to leave the band.
Well, they totally.
Then this comes out.
But they changed direction, when you think about it, as far as the real hard stuff
poppy.
really came alive at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, guys.
Good one.
Journey Escape, July 81. Oh.
It's interesting. I'd kind of checked out on Journey by this point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I just, when you were playing the songs, I was just looking at every title on there, and Jerry is not lying.
Right.
I am not.
You heard every one of those songs on the radio.
Yeah.
And I don't think I bought the album because there was no point. You could just turn on the radio.
Turn on the radio and hear one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And give it an hour, you'll hear a different one. Yeah. Something else would come on.
And then it's banned, when easy listening for their little, Still They Ride and, Mother, Father, Open Arms. Then the rock state. Oh, anyway, I'm sorry. I got goosebumps, guys.
That's
I
good.
do.
That's good.
But, to this day, I hear that song, and I'm driving my mom and dad's Pontiac to band practice. In my head, I can remember exactly hearing Journey and driving down, it's Route 66 now, but
right.
Takes you back.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to stick it to 5. I did write down 11 to 12 albums. No, it's all right.
I rambled. No, it just got me excited again, all over.
Well,
Sorry.
Every one of these albums I had bought, probably on vinyl and then cassette. One way or the other. First one that came to mind was Triumph with Allied Forces.
Allied Forces.
That was good. And Kiss, The Elder. We talked about that before, 1981.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers of Pang Tang with Spellbound.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And that was a band that actually Jim turned me on to, if I remember correctly. Van Halen, Fair Warning came out.
From April.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm not even going to gloss over because maybe Jim's going to put some of these other ones on his list, but we'll talk about them later. My number one album was Iron Maiden, Killers, in 1981, the second offering from Iron Maiden with Paul Di'Anno on vocals. And they still had a bit of that raw punk sound, but they were getting polished up at that time. Mm-hmm. And, man, and actually, I think this is the year I saw them in Anaheim. They opened up the Summer Strut. So the whole
Summer Strut. Wow.
Whole nother world for me to see them live, along with, think about it, Loverboy and Scorpions and
Loverboy Get Lucky was out
Foreigner.
of 81 also.
Yeah, that also came out.
Just to say, yep.
Let's listen to a little bit of Iron Maiden.
Quick question first, Frank. So this was a different guitar lineup, right?
This is still, I believe, with Stratton and I got to go back and look it up. But yeah, it's
was
not.
he still on this? Was he still on the second album? That was kind of my question.
I think so. I have to go back and look at it. Like I said, the band changed sound completely when Number of the Beast came out, not just because of Bruce Dickinson, but because of the musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But let's give this a listen, and we'll do a little research and check that out. Now, set the record straight. That was Dave Murray and Adrian Smith on guitars there.
So, that was Adrian Smith.
That's when Adrian came on board.
We can hear that.
They were doing the running lines.
Yeah.
Good old Steve Harris, man. He wrote it that way. He wrote those songs on bass. It's amazing.
Yeah. So. Thank you for picking "Murders in the Rue Morgue." I love that song.
One of my favorites. Those first two Iron Maiden albums just were unbelievable to me for what we were listening to at the time, and this truly felt like it was, coming from England. It was a totally different vibe than what we were getting here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it
anyways,
was.
now I know, like I said, Jim, I'm sure you're probably going to have some of the same albums that I didn't pick. Maybe some that I did, but
Well, I hope you guys don't cross-modulate. You got in cahoots before, right?
no,
Nope.
we didn't.
Really?
I want to
No, I
keep
got a couple of the same albums. So
It's all right.
So Jim's probably going to have Journey Escape from July of '81. No? Okay.
no, Journey Escape will
No?
not be on
Oh,
there.
okay.
I had to get it down to 5, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of albums from that year that that I didn't get into until a little later.
Yeah.
So maybe 82, 83, 84, a little farther down the road. So I'm going to just take a snapshot of kind of where my head was at it in 81. But there's a lot I love. One that I didn't hear in 81, I don't think. I heard it a little later, was the Stray Cats.
Their first one, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I appreciated them in
I
1981.
almost picked that. Yep.
I'll start and I'll finish up with the album I picked.
All right. Yeah.
So one album that was kind of eye-opening for me is those Cats That Are Behind You, Too Fast for Love.
Okay.
I think it's the best Motley album.
The first one, the original Leather Records version.
Yes. I had the actual Leather Records version because I don't know if I told you guys this story, but who was the guy who taught history, our history teacher?
Schneider.
Coach Remkus.
Oh, Schneider did too.
Anyway,
Coach
so
Remkus.
he used to
My gosh.
when we come into class, he'd always call us the Motley Crew.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, like, I'm going to start a band called Motley Crue. And so in 81, I'm thinking, like, okay, this is it. I'm going to get some people together. We're going to start a band called Motley Crue. And then I'm looking through the paper, and it says, like, oh, playing in Pasadena at Pookie's, there's a band called Motley Crue. I'm like, well,
Damn, Jaime.
so much for that. And I didn't even know it was Vince and Tommy at that point, right? I just saw the name and didn't even realize, like, oh, it's the guys from Rock Candy and US 101.
Yeah, I remember that. Played at Sock Hops.
Sweet 19, right? Played at the high school, right?
Oh, Sweet 19. I forgot about that too, Jaime. But I know US 101 played at a Sock Hop.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee on bass. I mean, Tommy Bass on drums. Excuse me. Or bass.
So,
I always get it mixed up.
Tommy Bass at that point.
Yeah, bass, bass.
And Vince Wharton at that point.
Yep, Vince Wharton.
Yep.
In Rock Candy.
So
During
Too Fast
brunch.
for Love, Triumph Allied Forces,
Right.
one of the ones that made
Gilmore. Rick Emmett. Oh.
Iron Maiden, Killers, UFO,
Yeah.
and The Innocent.
Yeah. Not a great album.
I
Good
love
album.
it.
Yeah, I know you love UFO. It's a
I
good
love
album for me.
UFO.
It's not a great album.
And I loved them at that time.
Yeah.
Like I said, snapshot of where I was.
Yeah.
And the album I chose was another band that I think was kind of underappreciated.
Yes.
And the thing that I loved about this band is there weren't too many people who knew about them.
Yeah.
Until this album came out.
Right.
This was kind of almost their little, at least here on the West Coast, they really didn't get any airplay, and that's Riot.
There we go.
Fire Down.
Great album. The first two albums, Nerida and Rock City, didn't get any airplay. Matter of fact, they weren't even released in the United States. They were released in Japan first. And I remember I had to get the imports.
Yeah, it's not bad though.
I bought Nerida as a domestic release.
Did you? Yeah, when I was
Yeah,
looking for them.
and you know what? Interesting thing. We've talked about this 100 times. I walked in, I saw the record. I thought, like, this is the weirdest looking album cover I've ever seen. And I flipped it over and I saw the band, and their bass player at that time was a guy named Jimmy Iommi.
Yep. Good old Jimmy.
The?
No.
Oh.
But we have. Jim froze up.
Yeah, he's froze up right in the middle of a smile, which is wonderful.
There he
we
goes.
go.
You're back with us there. You froze up there.
Fantastic. Did I?
Yeah, you froze up right after Jimmy Iommi.
Yeah, it was right in the middle of your smile, Jaime, and you have a beautiful smile. So it was great to see. There's a great lockup. I hope it's on the podcast. Yeah.
3 years of races.
Yeah.
Anyway, so bought the album just based on what it looked like. Took it home, threw it on the turntable, fell in love. I think I called up Frank that afternoon and said, "Look, you got to hear this band." I probably ran it over to his house and dropped it off.
Yep. You had to run out and buy it after that because.
Right.
So they were
yeah.
kind of it was one of those things that was kind of Frank and Mai's band.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody else knew about them.
Nope.
Right? At least not here. I guess they were big on the East Coast, but
Yeah.
and then when this album came out, they were finally got some airplay on the radio. And I think I picked kind of two of the singles, the ones that got the
and
got the airplay.
I forget which Kiss tour it was. I don't know if it was Lick It Up or Creature, one of those. But they opened up. They were the very first band, and they were two bands before Kiss on the bill, and they came out, and I was ready to go home after seeing Riot because it was like finally got to see them. Finally, they were loud and raw, and still one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's awesome. You got to see them.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
The closest I came is we went to I think it was like the Whiskey one night, and the last band on the bill was a band called Slavin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And,
Sandy.
Sandy Slavin.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it didn't make any connection. And we're walking out of the Whiskey as he's walking in.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody says, "Oh, hey, Sandy," like that. And at that moment, it clicked.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cat.
Yeah.
That was Sandy Slavin. But it was like, at this point, it's like 1 a.m. And we're like, yeah,
Right, gotta go.
yeah, we're going home.
I'm not going to fanboy up right now.
No.
Let's check out these tunes from Riot. Those guys are great.
Ooh.
Now they're
last album with their original lead singer, Guy Speranza.
He left, and Brett Forrester came in, and they did Born in America and a couple
Restless
other
Breed.
Restless Breed, and he actually was murdered in Atlanta. It was a carjacking. He's 37 years old, and he refused to give his car up, and I think he got stabbed to death or something. And they still, there might be one of the original members or one of the original replacement members or something, but there's
I don't think anybody's left.
Yeah.
Mark Reel was the last guy. He was keeping it going, and Mark passed away several years ago.
Yeah, well, they've got a Riot version 5 or something like that out there that has the spirit of Riot, and it's not the same. You know, I always try to give them a listen.
No. Yeah.
But I that was one time when they changed lead singers that I continue to follow them because they were still raw.
They were still great.
Yeah, that was a band that changed a lot of music for me because they just plugged in and played. There was not a lot of effects, and there wasn't any anything about it. Just crank it up and play.
Well, to me, that album was kind of their zenith.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the guitars had kind of changed a little bit. They'd become more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I just found this out. They were on Capitol Records, and when they finished the record, Capitol refused to release it.
Too raw.
They says this is way too heavy.
Yeah.
You guys need to be more commercial or whatever. And so it dropped them, and so they took the record to Elektra, and that ended up being the first record they did with Elektra Records.
The one song "Don't Bring Me Down," I remember listening to that and just busting up. It's actually comical, the lyrics, because it's about a breakup, and basically the guy says, "Hey, the kennel-ration's yours. I want my Friskies back." And I didn't catch it the first few times I heard it, and then I was over at Greg's house, and we're sitting there listening to it, and we started it just clicked at the same time. We started busting up. He picks up the needle and puts it back. And did he really just say that? Sure enough, yeah. They're fighting over the animals. Some other albums we didn't bring up. Billy Squier, Don't Say No.
I got it.
How did
Generation.
that not make your list?
Well, I
Joan
tried
Jett,
to
I
stay
Love
away.
Rock and roll.
Generation X, Kiss Me Deadly. Holy mackerel. Judas Priest,
No
Point of
Sleep
Entry,
Till
almost.
Hammersmith. No Sleep Till Hammersmith.
Yeah.
Motorhead.
Motorhead was on there.
Guys,
Yep, lots of good stuff. And, of course, Ozzy, Diary of a Madman.
I remember
Freeze
Madman.
Frame. Freeze Frame. Jay Giles.
Yep.
King Crimson.
Yeah,
Discipline.
you couldn't put it down. I mean,
Paradise
I
Theater
owned all
6.
those records. You know?
Yes.
Same here.
Yeah.
Stray Cats, Jaime said. Yeah.
Bob Seger, 9 Tonight.
Oh,
Another good one.
guys.
Yeah. So,
That was the last
Hard-
time I saw Priest, I think. was
Hard
81.
Promises.
Yep.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Frank.
yeah.
Hard Promises.
Hard promises. Hard to promise I'll listen
East
to it.
Side Story from Squeeze.
Yep.
Yep.
Guys, Trust, Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Guys, 1981 Killers, Iron Maiden, like you said. Oh,
It was a fantastic year.
it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
banner year.
Yep.
A banner year. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, real quickly, Jerry,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Mob Rules or Heaven and Hell?
Heaven and Hell.
Yes. Yeah. Mob Rules was weak
I had them
compared
both.
to Heaven and Hell. It was
you know,
good.
I had them both.
Yeah.
Still sounded great.
It was good,
And
but it
that
wasn't
title
Heaven and Hell.
track is good, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, good. We've had our Black Sabbath discussions. To me, it's Ozzy only,
Mm-hmm.
folks. Ozzy only.
It's sad that you're
but-
still so wrong. It's okay.
No, it's sad that I'm still so right, and you guys are
Totally.
still wrong.
Now that's a case where
Ask
they,
anybody who sings for Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne, mate.
well,
It's
nobody does
Ozzy.
now. Yeah. No.
Well,
true.
it's-
They did do a reunion. What was that? 2013,
Oh.
whatever that was. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
But
wasn't
no,
because
Mob Rules is not a bad album, guys.
No, it's good.
No,
It's good.
it's a
I'm
good
not,
album.
Yeah, I'm not.
but I
yeah.
think it's pale compared to Heaven and Hell. That something
Oh
about
no,
that
you're
album.
you're absolutely correct. Frank.
Holy
Heaven and
mackerel.
Hell is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's like wow.
It was next level, and again, so
They shook all,
different from everything they did with Ozzy.
they shook all the dust off
Yeah.
and just let it rip.
Yeah, heavy.
So
heavy album.
I agree. Heaven and Hell is a damn good album.
Okay. And then we talked about Kiss the Elder. It's very unappreciated.
I loved it.
Michael Shankner, MSG, came out that year also.
MSG, right?
Man.
There's a great documentary on Netflix now about Scorpion's last tour, like 2015, 20. And what's funny about it is, having listened to the albums, et cetera, the whole documentary is in German. They're speaking German, which they are, folks, with subtitles. And I love it because all we know is what we hear on the album,
Was that
and it's just Aktenfliegen, Sackenfliegen, look. It's like what? And then they sing like "Gonna Break Out."
was that tour that they're doing? Was it plugged in or was it the acoustic tour they did? 'Cause
No,
they-
it was plugged in. It was
Oh.
like 2015. I saw
Okay.
the end date on the documentary, but it's on Netflix, folks.
Okay.
And it was pretty neat. You know,
they've done since then. They've done a bunch of acoustic tours where they have
Oh, I don't know if I want to go
females
Scorpions acoustic.
singing duets with Klaus and stuff like
No,
that. Yeah,
Pass.
yeah.
no.
It's
Rudolph,
It's not pretty.
no. Matthias, no.
Yeah,
Still one of
Plug
the
it
best
in.
bands I've ever seen live.
great live band. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Never seen them live.
Fantastic.
Had
Of course,
some
I
good
was in
stuff.
'81. I saw them. So.
Ah,
Oh, perfect. It must have been at their heyday, I believe. Yeah, 81.
It was a
Then
good
88 with
tour.
the Gork. Yeah.
yeah. Well, guys, I don't know. I say Judas Priest, Point of Entry. That was kind of, you know,
Go-Go's. I
Not-
mean, Joan Jett.
Can we talk about Judas Priest for a minute? Can we
Sure.
talk
Sorry,
about
Frank.
Judas Priest for a minute?
Absolutely.
Did I interrupt again, Frank?
Yes, you did. No, Judas Priest. The
Darn
reason I want to bring them up is that particular album and tour was kind of the pinnacle for me because we had Screaming for Vengeance and all.
I would
these other-
agree. Yeah, Point of Entry. I'd
Point of
agree.
Entry.
Yeah.
They really went commercial and went almost like they changed direction a little bit at that point because we had. Remember when British Steel came out? How raw it was.
Oh, it was beautiful. British Steel was awesome.
Yeah, and then they come
Yeah.
out with this, and it's like, oh, guys, Good album again, but
playing the game, Frank.
they're playing the
gotta
safe.
play the game.
I loved it at the time.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, you know what album, not that it's from 81, that I heard the other day that was just a letdown was Turbo. Did you listen?
Different.
Yeah, so when they got into the synthesizer guitars and all that. They were experimenting.
I don't blame them for trying something different.
No.
But they were doing.
you got
Iron Maiden was
got
doing the
some money.
same thing.
Yeah.
You know, they all started playing with the technology at that point. So would you say Journey, that particular album, Escape, is the top album for you, Jerry, of 1981?
Yes. Even though Foreigner 4 came out that year, and Fair Warning came out that year, to me, the intro, folks, in Conspiracy Land, what led up to it, and I was following them for like 3-4 years, to me, absolutely Journey Escape, 1981, July.
Right.
I still love it now.
Good deal. That's I don't own that album. That is,
Of course not. Damn it.
I've got Departure, and I even have Captured Live, which was
I did too, and that's what I thought. They're taking a break. They're getting their stuff together. They're going to rewrite, come out with a new album. Keyboard vocalist Greg Raleigh has left Journey. Ow!
And what about you, Jim? Is Fire Down Under the top album?
Oh, that came out that year?
Yeah, for you?
Man. I don't know, because it's kind of right there with Killers. To say it's the top. And then there's like I said, there's a bunch of stuff that I appreciated kind of after the fact.
Right.
So it's right up there. It's right up there.
Well, it's a tie for me between Van Halen's Fair Warning, because they were so hot. They were the band.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking.
That and Ozzy's Diary of a Madman, because that was Randy's last album. So those two, I think, probably got the most airplay at my house out of all.
Yeah, I was relentless playing that Diary of a Madman.
Yeah.
Both those first two Ozzy albums.
Oh.
And you know what? I don't know. And what's the other single on that album? The first one there.
Ooh.
Gosh.
Crazy Train.
Crazy
Train. No, Crazy Train.
Crazy
those
Train.
two songs, I'm so done. If I never hear them again, I'm good. They played those so much on the radio.
You know what? That's a good point.
I'm still in on any Randy Rhoads with Ozzy.
I'll take Blizzard.
You can put it on tomorrow, dude, and my fist would instantly go in the air.
Well, you know what? For me, take Ozzy's vocals off of it. I think that's what it is. I'm done with those.
Well, I've already told you.
And put Ronnie
I've never
James
been
Dio's
a big
vocals
fan
in
of
it,
Ozzy's
Frank.
vocals. I'm
That's what
in
Frank's
for the
saying.
guitar.
I mean, Frank's corrupt. He wants to put Ronnie James Dio
No.
on Diary of a Madman. I feel you, Frank. I feel your vibe. Man, you're such a hater.
Yes. No, it ain't.
I bet if Diary of a Madman was re-released with Ronnie James Dio vocals, you'd buy 100 copies.
At least.
Wear them out one at a time.
There you go.
Exactly. And I'd probably take one. I'm just saying.
All right, guys. Well, again, next week we got a very special show.
Guys, we are getting famous, guys. My gosh.
No, we're getting it.
Ronnie Barnett from the Muffs.
Yep.
Melanie Van. Oh, oof.
Yeah. It's going to be a good show.
I'm stoked to have Melanie on.
Oh, that's going to be great.
It will be great.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Jerry, you got anything before we say goodnight?
Yeah. First of all, sorry for interrupting the whole show.
Yeah, we're used to it.
Exactly. You should be. But out there, folks out in Conspiracy Land, keep rocking, folks. This pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, has got us all. God bless you all, folks. Hang in there. We'll get through it. The summer's coming. The summer burns the virus away. So just hang in there. God bless. And keep rocking, folks. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim? You got anything?
This show is all about opinions.
That's right.
And we want to hear other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Weigh in. What was the best album of 1981? What did it for you? What's your top 5? What's your top 10 if you can?
Yeah.
Sure.
If you can't whittle it down, let us know. And then, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
And We need some more. What floats your boat?
Yes.
Bring it on, folks. Bring
That'd
it
be
on.
great, folks. Won't take you long.
Nope. Now send in a video, send in audio, whatever you want. Let us know if you have a band you want us to feature. Send them our way. We're open ears. We'll play just about anything. And like I said, we don't own any of the music. We play it for informational purposes only. For just for entertain somebody. I'm entertained. I don't know about you, but
we're just having fun, folks. We used to do this outside of the library at high school.
That's right.
Yeah, every
That's
2
what we
weeks.
did. Exactly
Every
what
2
we did.
weeks. Every 2 weeks, we talk about what floats our boat. We want to hear what floats your boat.
There you go.
Come on, folks. Yep.
All right. Well, Jim, if there's nothing else, what do you got to say?
Afraid the shop is closed.
There it is.
No, we're not done. Let's keep going. Woo!